Is this the OTR channel?
Dennis, I think you might be on the right frequency.
I love it when I am on the live frequency.
You got it, man. Hey, Dennis, one real quick question.
This is the real quick question frequency. Go ahead, sir.
Back when we were all on 14 back in the day, do you remember a guy named Richard that used to get out and talk with us on the radio?
Richard Cucumber, over.
There it is. That's the one. Yeah, and he had his son, too, that got out there once in a while.
That's right. He actually did net control a couple of times, believe it or not.
What happened to Richard? He passed.
20 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was, Dennis, about 20 years ago when he died. Yeah, I was thinking about it last night. I was talking to somebody about something or other, and Richard was the one I was thinking of.
He had me do an over-the-air live adjustment of my FT101 receiver. He just talked me through it. He said, open the top, be careful, go here, do this, do that. And it took about an hour, and I adjusted my radio over the air with him telling me what to do.
Yeah, he was teaching me how to tune them up the right way. I did my 101, just reading the book over and over and over and over and over again. I finally fixed it. Remember how it was off there on one deal?
That's right. It was like a 302, and you made it a 301.
But yeah, I did mine.
Anyway, and he used to run a Super MC8 general radio telephone.
I did that?
No, Richard did that. All right, and I think the Jingle Singers are going to say something.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, the Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's glowing in the dark. Man, we got a lot of, I got the REA meters up, and it's showing that there is a lot of audio. You know what it is? It's delayed. So let me look at the on-the-air live thing. So hopefully, is the audio sounding okay, over?
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Sounds like it sounds as if I knew or I know what I am doing, but don't be fooled. The Old Tube Radio Network will happen regardless of the faux pas that the net controller makes. They're telling me to check the pocket protector. It looks good. The tie is kind of straight. Everything else is a disaster, but that's not the point. The Old Tube Radio Network, here we are to distribute information and give you a taste of what it might have been like back in the 1960s or 70s when these radios were brand new and Citizen Band Radio was the social media. There was no phones, the iPhone thing. There were phones, but you had to stick your finger in and do the dial stuff. But here we are. It's the 21st century. It's, March 7th, 2026, and we are still here after 40 years. Thanks to you and your tube radios. We will be checking in with them tonight. Of course, we'll be talking to our shortwave listeners and anything else. We had Skipland super loud until about a half an hour ago. We have a time change tomorrow or late tonight, depending on where you're at. And so I expect that we might have a little skip in our SWL check-ins next week. We'll find out how that works. But for now, everything is going well. Let me pause and ask if there's any early check-ins, which we will do now. Over.
What if you are?
I hear you, 61, over.
I just wanted to get quick. I got to finish my barbecue.
All right, it's BBQ. It's the sun just went down, but it's probably still smelling great. So barbecue away, 61 is in. 195 from beautiful Coarse Gold. I don't know if you saw the great sunset we have this evening, but got you checked in, Jim. Exactly. Let's see. I think I hear the legend, over.
Yes, yeah. Good evening there, Dennis. 53 checking in early, brother.
All right, 5-3's got the X in the square. And who else was out there, over? 25. All right, 2525. I've got you with the X in the square. Sounding good, over.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Dennis, get 650.
Also 650. Not a problem there. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
Listening in. Did I get everybody? Who else needed an early check-in locally here? All right, I think we're good. I'll start with the numbers, the roll call. Of course, speaking of numbers, you don't have to be in any list or have any numbers to play along. Grab your OTR home game and follow along. Take your magnetic game token and place it on the board as we traverse through the old Tube Radio Network to our Tube Radios coming up. And then I'll try and keep an eye on everything else as we go along. We do have the Echo link up and running. I see Tony and Tim. We'll get to you guys in just a little bit. And I will also check my chat window to make sure that everything is good. 00. I bet Wayne is out there.
00, checking in.
All right, I put the X in the square, and we'll also get you in as 114. I'll call you if you're there. Fine. If not, you are checked in on the 2-for-1. SWL1, of course, is checked in, and Mr. OBP, SWL number 2, who may or may not be around. Last time he actually snuck in on the crossband, which is up and running as well.
Dennis here, 24.
24, 24's got the X, thanks. Okay, and I see you, I hear you. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me or not. Last time there was some issue, but you are sounding good on the crossband, KB6G. All right, on the crossband, thank you. Number 2.
I still can't receive on this, but I'll talk to you later. 86ER.
All right, sounding good, no problem. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL number 3. And then go to Levon, SWL5. I did not see the old radio night on tonight, so I'm assuming maybe because I've been hearing about lots of inclement weather and storms and lightning out that way that maybe JT had to pull the coax in to be safe. But I will make sure to get him checked in. And Levon is there. I see you. So let me put the X in the square. Over to SWL7. I got a note to get Ed checked in if he doesn't stop by, and I will do that. Foxman, no storms. All right. Well, that'll give you more time to keep working on the Robin. Looking good. I saw the pictures with the new capacitors and everything. So hopefully you will have that. If you haven't already, I'm behind on my videos. If you haven't already, have that featured on the page, on the big YouTube page. Let's go. Where are we going? Oh, we're going out to Sangertown for 982 Dirt Dog. Proxy on the Dirt Dog. Proxy on the DD. No problem. And Bill's asking, is that a new pocket protector? No, this is the same. This is the same old one. Charlie's saying they sent it in. Why didn't you send the jacket? And they sent the pocket protector and they have it cleaned. But I still got the same old kind of stinky jacket here. But it works. Maybe that's what it is. Makes the jacket look worse. You know what it is? I think they put too much starch in it. And see, that's how it's all kind of sticking out here. So that's what happens when you go to those cheap cleaners. You went to 1 minute martinizing. SWL10. I'm looking for the Dolphins. Haven't seen them yet, but I bet they will. I bet they will be out there somewhere. SWL 11 and 12. I did see Dan and Dapper Dan, who may be dapper as he is doing the Z's. So Dan and Dapper Dan both got you checked in. Oh, Dapper Dan is in. Okay, you guys. So did you? I don't know if you have a pocket protector there, Dapper Dan, but I may score a couple of points because I did have it brushed off a little bit. Bandman says I look good. Okay. adjust your video, and you may say otherwise. Let's go to SWL 13. Listening on the crossband, sometimes Mikey checks in that way. Out to Sangertown. I think I heard you testing on the dummy load, but you're sounding good now. Hello, 14.
Yeah, thanks for the fly hours there. 14 checking in from Sanger.
Sounding good from Sangertown. You heard all the skip that we had. It was really loud, and now there ain't nothing. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, got you in. If you got radios, we'll hear them for sure.
Yeah, hopefully I can stay up. Yeah, thanks for the check-in there, Dennis.
Okay, if not, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. Yeah, we should be back next week. Thanks. Hello to Peter. 428 Squamish checking in. Yeah, I heard that. But we're good enough to do a OTR waving from everybody out there. All right, well, speedy recovery, and good to know they allow you to have some fun with the Old Tube Radio Network. So keep on being on the mend. And hopefully things are going the right way there. So thanks for the update, and good to have you back. Good to have you back in the air chair, such that it is. Who else was out there? Alpha Zulu Zulu and India Romeo X-Ray, both out in Nineland. Thank you, Ken. Did I talk to any? I've been listening a lot. I haven't talked to a lot. There is some big contest going, like worldwide contest. If you go to 20 meters, probably right now, you will hear all sorts of international calls. Crazy. Speaking of international calls, here is one of our favorites. Alpha 173, of course, and I'm trying to think what I heard last night coming through. I'm sure I must have heard some Oscar Zanzibars coming through. It's just 20 meters was ripping and roaring on those contests. The 1,499 watt stations with the 60-foot boomed beams come out during the contest time. You are checked in, Hans. SWL 16 behind the monitor. Wave to everybody. Okay. Charles is there. Thank you for getting us set up. I think we are looking good with the everything is working. Everything is working tonight, so I feel good about that. Charlie says I probably just jinxed everything working. We'll find out. We've only got 2 hours to keep it going. Over to, I got to keep going here. We won't get the radios if I just look at the camera like a deer in the headlights. SWL 17. SWL 18. I get Mr. KDA checked in from Facebook. On the cue cards tonight and helping straighten up. Yeah, it's nice over here. Behind me is not too good, but all in front of me, I can find the pens and the paper and everything else. Thanks for that. Out of Angola. I think it's actually showing up. It's showing up correctly now all of a sudden. Or Derby or Belfast. Any one of those three. He'll take them all. SWL 19, thank you. Let's see if, and I believe he was in the air chair earlier, SWL 20, Harvey.
Number 20 here. Please check in 29 and 54. And I will have a radio of interest tonight. This one. Thank you.
Well, it's sounding good. It is good. I'm curious to hear what that is. Anyone know, was JT hiding out from the storms? I'm checking in 21. I did not see the video, so I'm not going to link up over there. Who wanted Richie wanted the DX maps. Where are they? I don't even know if I have them up on my... Oh, yeah, I do. All right, let me go over to that. There it is. It's not much. It's showing like some low stuff through Arizona, which we're not hearing at all. And that little spot that's always, I don't know, in Seattle. And there it is. We got a little bit on New Zealand, Australia. Yeah, see... Where can you see it there? Australia's still in. It was really loud earlier, so I think this map needs to get updated. So not super big, but you never know. We're looking for the north-south stuff is what we want to hear tonight. Direct and net roll call. We'll have 2 radios coming in shortly, so Stay tuned to your radio. Let's go to SWL 22. There it is. That's what we're looking for. We're ready to hear Alaska tonight. SWL 23. And Rosie, hello to you. 84 and raining. So, yeah, high temperatures and high humidity out there in Emu Park. The emus are hiding under. What do they hide under? What kind of flora and fauna do they, there's not Joshua trees out there. Probably some strange looking to us here on the west coast of the U.S., some strange looking tree the emus are scratching up against. Cornbread's on the, he's polishing up the Heathkit 221, waiting for some good skip conditions. And Bill's saying good skip to Arizona around 8 p.m. tonight. That's sort of what we're showing on the map here. One Space Ghost, hello to you. Fubar Snafu. Bands have been forgiving. Lots of traffic. No, it actually has been good. Whenever I can hear myself on the SDRs on 10 meters during the day in British Columbia, things are good. Who else have we got? Let me go through a couple of items here, see if I missed anybody. Oh, Bill. All right. Bill 67's checking in. I see you. We'll get you there. 91, of course, Mr. Felix. We will get you there as well. Okay, there's Mr. 21. Going to be on the horizontal side tonight, just watching on the boob tube. Have a good weekend. Okay, so I finally scrolled back. Let me make the official. Now that what you see you there. And yeah, missed the ORN tonight. Missed the spinning wheel, but I'm sure it will be back when all is well. The Old Tube Radio Network, directed net roll call. Tony, I see you. We will get you in on the Echo Link. Private Thor is in. 147 in Kakalaki. He's got to shut down early tonight, so we'll get Mr. Jazz when it's appropriate. Just seeing what's there on the tiny little screens here tonight. Oh, Sheriff of Nottingham. Well, good morning to you. Having a mild winter this year. I think a lot of people are. Currently 7 degrees Celsius at 4 a.m. Sheriff of Nottingham. Good to have you back here in 2026. And maybe we'll get some conditions that way. Who knows? All right, I think we're up to date. Let me get back to the live and continue on with the roll call tonight. Thanks for the reminder, Cornbread. Daylight savings time tonight. I guess the official 2 a.m. if you want to do it that way. 24 checked in. 25 checked in. SWL 26. Let's go to SWL 27. See if Dwayne's out in Studio G tonight. SWL 28, what's happening up the road in Sacramento? Probably had another good day, just like we had here. With cheesy popcorn and orange knee-high. Nesbitt's lime soda and orange knee-high, along with cheesy popcorn. We're keeping the spaces, the walkways to the restrooms open. We're keeping them clear in case those of you who have too much of the orange knee-high, Nesbitt's lime soda, and the cheesy popcorn, you need to make an express to that area. We'll make sure you get there. Thanks for the 75 degrees. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL 29. Hello, 30. Got to get my page updated here. SWL 31, Robert and Teresa. I did not see you guys earlier, so I will keep my pen at the ready. SWL 32. Raman said he was having power issues and some other things. So, oh, no, he's there. All right. From Rainy Waco. Yeah, I think that's what's happening down your way. Getting some wacky items of interest. I see you left me the email, which I started to read multiple times while I was trying to set all this up. So see what's going on. But the bands have been pretty good. So hopefully you've been making some good DX, nay, not DX contacts on whatever radios are available. I'm glad to hear the weather is cooperating. Putting the X in the square. Did I do that? Yes, you are checked in. So it says, and so am I, SWL33, and anybody else running around here tonight. I don't know why my video is showing up behind, but that's what it's doing. SWL34. There's got to be a better way. Again, my mouse is starting to fail me here. You can hear me clumping it on the desk. Yeah, Van Man, it's sort of this weird thing that we have now for the digital SWLs when it shows up. It kind of gives you a strange handle, but I do think that if you are there, yeah, you're showing up. There's a couple. Who's in tonight? We got Centerville, Virginia, Fresno, Louisville, Kentucky, Williamson, West Virginia, Waco, Texas, Angelo, New York, Lawrence, Kansas, Anoka, Minnesota, Fresno, Greenville, New Hampshire. Got Greenville out there tonight. Let me get Jimmy a proxy check-in. And Mr. Bill, who checked in on Facebook. And I have to go through that. There was a couple of things I wanted to check in. I started to do a lot of things and I got delayed. It's one of those where you keep getting interrupted. Now, well, Fubar Snafu. You need to get one of those tough sheds or whatever they are, where you build them outside. So if anybody wants to get into your shack, they're going to have to go out. They're going to have to go out outside of the door. Maybe that'll work. Or do it like we did when we were kids. Take a big blanket and make your shack under the dining room table with the chairs. And just make a little fort under the dining room table and put your shack down there. Get a secret password. We don't have secret passwords here, but I think for your situation, you might want to do that. UDX 111, Ken, SWL 36. Are you probably on my screen somewhere? As he looks around, hoping I'm not missing anybody. SWL 37, I know you're out there.
SWL 37, good evening, Dennis.
And good evening, Hello Radio. Is it movie night tonight, or have you watched everything that's possible?
No, we're watching a movie.
All right, watching a movie. Well, thanks for jumping in and jumping out, and you can rate it after the net.
Okay, and if Joe, if you're out there tomorrow, the race is on. It's in Arizona again, and it's on FS1. So I don't know if you have that channel, but anyway, let you know.
Indeed. Let me see. Hello, 4077. Who's 4077? 36, I see it. Let me get you officially checked in. 37 is in, of course. And over to Sammy, SWL 38. No relays tonight. And Fubar, she needs the shed. Okay. I can see there is going to be fisticuffs. Let's go to SWL 39. And over to SWL 40.
SWL 40 here. Just still in awe of that spectacular sunset we had today.
It was something. It was like solid colors. There were the clouds, but man, it's very rare you see such intense solid colors. I was going to do a search because there's probably a reason that it does it like that. Is it air temperature? Is it? I don't know. There's something. It doesn't normally get that wacky and wild. So anyway, thanks for the heads up on that. It was nice.
We might be having a large earthquake in the next couple days here in California. and I'm standing by.
Yeah, well, we have Bose quakes every day, but large ones, I don't know. The Central Valleys, we're sort of immune to that. We're on opposite sides of fault lines, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. It was just a display, a solar display of niceness. Anyway, you are checked in. SWL 41 jumped in moments ago to tell us that the Orange County REAC in Hudson Valley, New York, is having a great day, and wishing a good evening to all the listeners tonight. Putting the X in the square, let's head over to SWL 42.
Wow, I didn't get my ping. I wonder what was up with that. 42 and the Radio Liper crew all here and accounted for.
All right, we'll do a take two. Unless you got the squelch turned up or something. SWL 42, back to you.
There you go. Here we are, repeat. 42 and the Radio Liper gang all here.
Sounding good. Well, see, that's the thing. We'll do a couple of takes to get it right for the program going on live tonight. Sounding good, and looking forward to some radios tonight. Who is in Pittsburgh? UDX 510, hello to you. Spring weather is right. I think we're expecting 77 tomorrow. SWL 43. Got a proxy for 43, they say. I know we'll do that. SWL 44. That's Mr. 360. As I check a couple of other numbers. All right, I think I fixed that issue, so let me get 44 checked. And also, Paul and Kelly, SWL 45, if you're out there listening. Hope you're having a great weekend. SWL 46. Arlen, out in Wisconsin. What's going on in Wisconsin? Ken Carlock, hoping to plant potatoes for St. Patty's weekend. I bought some potatoes today. There was this little package. It was like sprouting tubers, and it was cheap, and I bought it because somebody said my soil was so bad, the thing I needed to plant was potatoes. And so I said, I'll take you up on it. So I will be doing likewise, tilling. I've got a little garden. I've got a big garden area, so I'll be tilling that around and throwing those potatoes in there. What were they? Yukon Gold. So it'll be mashed potatoes for SWL 33 in the not-too-distant future. Let's go to SWL 47.
Oh, good God. That actually sounds pretty tasty. I might have to purchase some of those. Anyways, good evening from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47.
You're sounding good from the Radio Lounge, and hope you're probably having a great weekend. The weather is great. A little breezy, but not too bad. So thanks for joining us tonight. 47 is in. I'll give 46 a proxy check in. And let's go to SWL 48. Sammy, he's got a check in from Facebook. SWL 49. Okay, my mouse is getting away from me. SWL 49, someone said to do a proxy for Smitty and Sweet Country Mama. We will do that. Oh, somebody's there. Who is there? Somebody testing. Let's go to UDX 36. Gerald, I think I see what is going on. Uh-oh, got cut off the networking. Okay, from Tornado 20 South. Uh-oh. So I think I saw some video of something going on. It was in Michigan somewhere. So hopefully you are staying safe. It sounds like you're on tonight, and you're not getting cut off. So hopefully it will stay that way. SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
All right, 51, sounding good, looking good. Good to hear you on the replay, not on the replay, but on the, where were we? On the SDR from afar this afternoon. We're sounding pretty good.
Yeah, Southwest Missouri. All right, guys, have a good evening.
51 is in 50. SWL 52.
Yeah, from behind the the Golden Microphonium SWL-52. Interesting thing happened yesterday with the releasing of all the 4-letter call signs that were held up by the federal government shutdown that was at the end of last year. So there was a bit of a land rush yesterday. There was over like 350 4-letter call signs nationwide that became available, and I'm sitting here just perusing, watching the gnashing of teeth, and people making their payments to the FCC, and everything's just humming along.
Boy, it took them that long to actually open the Rolodex, huh?
They did it on purpose because of the shutdown. They gave everyone that was nearing the 2-year, into their grace period, they gave them a little bit of extra time, and that extra time expired on Friday.
Well, extra time is a good thing, and procrastination sometimes gets you going. So hopefully most everybody that got or wanted something got what they wanted or close to it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So there's going to be a lot of happy and upset people in about 18 days when all this gets processed. But very good. Other than that, I've played absolutely no radio today because I was stuck at the dealership. So maybe we'll play a little bit more tomorrow. We'll catch you later, Dennis.
Yeah, there's you probably know, some big contests going on. So if you tuned to 20 meters right now, you will hear all sorts of calls that are not from the U.S. At least that's what I heard last night anyway.
Yep, I am aware of the contest and completely ignored it because I wasn't home.
All right, well, there you go. But you're home now, and you have chosen to jump into the air chair and say hello to the Old Tube Radio Network. We're glad you did. Thanks. Direct Net roll call. The tubes are coming up. SWL 53 checked in early. We've got a proxy check in for SWL 54, and we're looking for SWL 55.
55.
All right, good deal. I was hoping I could get an X in the square for you guys up there, and we're doing that now. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, radio.
All right, thanks for remembering the Saturday night place to be, your Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to, just for kicks, SWL 56.
SWL 56, checking in, Dennis.
Checking in and sounding good doing it. Thank you, Phil. The X is in the square. Over to SWL 57. Out there in central Kentucky. Speaking of Kentucky, Van Man says it's 80. It was 80 where he's at today. He says that's strange. Well, just wait. It'll be 40 tomorrow, right? SWL 58. Shortwave listener 59. Somebody joining us. I got to read. I need some more light on the screen here. There we go. That's better. Carterville, Illinois. What's going on? I think we can do a weather check out there in Carterville tonight. See if it's going to fire up here. Yeah, 47 degrees. Feels like 39. Okay, not bad for whatever time you guys have. Let's see who else we can get. Greenville. Oh, yeah, so I wanted to see what's happening in Greenville, New Hampshire. It's 44, feels like 42. It's going to be a good day tomorrow. All right. So much for our local weather reports. Back to the roll call, where we are looking for SWL 60.
Hey, Dennis. Evening time to all. SWL 60, checking in.
60 with an X in the square. Sounded good. Sounds like you got the microphonium and the antenna and everything matched up there.
We tried to, Dennis. Doggone it, with the help of our good buddies here. Otherwise, it would be a mess. We're on an old SBE 23, Dennis. Here's one you haven't seen in a while, Blackface SBE. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot.
Yeah, vintage radio. So 23 channels, 40 channels. I have to have another net or extend this one for some of the 23 channel radios from like 70 to 76 before they switched over. A lot of great stuff. That was the ones I always wanted. But, you know, you had the brochures, the color brochures from Pierce Simpson. And you're thinking, where am I going to get $350 for that sideband radio? Sounding good. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
And Fubar says, how long do you have to be an operator to get a nice window? Well, you know, these days, you never know if it's AI or I've kind of melded in a background. But no, that's the real background. That is not something. We actually have the window open. That's how get a little breeze blowing through here. So if we hear sirens and fireworks and whatever else might happen, that's because the window is open. SWL 60 is in. 61 checked in at the top of the program. SWL 62. I think this is a program. We call it a network, the Old Tube Radio Network. Somebody said Proxy 62, which I will do. SWL 63. SWL 64 checked in earlier. It was on the page, says, please check me in. So, Craig, you will get an X in the square. Over to SWL 65. And there is a way to actually leave comments now. If you go to the Old Tube Radio Net page, it's a little different for the audio. You don't want to, if you come out to the YouTube, you can actually, and you might be listening, you can click on the audio there on the YouTube and just stay on the oldtuberadio.net page. And now I believe it will show the comments of the chat window, and you can jump in at the net page and the chats will transfer over. So some good trickery done by Frodex to try and salvage all the things that, new technology says, you can't do that. Why are you doing that? You can't do that anymore. So we kind of go through the side door to make things work. Did I call SWL 65? How about SWL 66? Might be out shooting skip. And that's what Bill did. He got in the chat and made it go over to the video side. And I saw that, Bill, earlier. Out there in Canby, Oregon, 67 is checked in. Over to SWL 68. Yeah. Al, I can see it. Says you're not near the Echo link tonight. We got a couple of people we're going to be chatting with quickly on Echo Link. So you are doing it right. Get to you via FT8. I don't know if it's FT8, but I see you here on the chat, so not a problem. SWL 69, Kenny said to get him checked in earlier. He was on from Tulsa before the net tonight. So, Kenny, you are checked in if you're listening or watching the replay. SWL 70.
Ryder Dennis, how you doing, man? Sounding great in Prather 59 plus, and thanks very much for doing the net.
All right, thanks for being out there. I've managed to train my signal to go through all those little roundabouts that they put in. Before it was kind of getting hung up on the curb, and now my signal knows how to work a roundabout. It gets to you with no problem.
Sweet, it's working, man.
All right, that's what AI can do for you. Thanks for checking in. SWL 71, hey Stan, good to see you. Big contest going on, as you know, checking in. And if you made it made it to the page. So however you did it, whatever you did it right. We got some changes on the pages because, servers were failing and stuff was breaking. And we thought, it ain't going to work no more. And Frodex got things working and figured out ways to do this, to do that, to make things work. So glad you got in there. And looking good. Hopefully you've, since I talked to you last, you've probably got 100 new ham operators out on the airwaves. Cool stuff. Let's go to SWL 72. SWL 73. I'll get a check-in for John. Don't hear him on the crossband, but I probably will later. SWL 74 has got a proxy check-in from earlier. Over to SWL 75. Now, wait a minute. What is FT2? I know FT8 and FT4. That must be like really, really narrow bandwidth. You can only type zeros and ones. You have to do everything in base 2, in binary. There's that base 1. Let's go to SWL 76. SWL 77.
SWL 77, 1017 here, checking in, and I hope everybody's having a great evening.
I am doing fine. I think most of the listeners out there, if they're not recuperating from not being fine, they're doing fine. I think, let me see, I'm going to the media player here. I think I have, it's in the wrong spot. Earlier, we're online with the local guys here, and we're listening in, and I think it was from British Columbia. Skip was going on. Let me see if I can do the replay. Okay, here we go.
Let's see, I've got the recorder going. Yeah, I've got.
Okay, you can hear me. I'm the Mud Duck. So we're listening. This is the audio playback from the British Columbia, and it's in Masset. I can't remember where it's at, but it's on the coast, British Columbia coast. Listening to my Mud Duck signal here from Fresno. Then listen what happens when 1077 keeps up. Here we go. Playback.
Yeah, I've got the recorder going. Yeah, I've got the recorder going in British Columbia. Take a transmission.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio check. Fresno, California.
Listen to that crystal clear audio on the Browning earlier. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that's what it sounded like in British Columbia. Over.
Yeah, and I had just finished putting that half wave up there at 50 feet with the counterpoise that we built, and so that would be like my first received signal from that antenna.
It was sounding good. I mean, and this was, I think we were on 11, and you're getting over all the skip. You can hear my signals are kind of down to the noise. So, and it sounds just like it does here. That is truly amazing. Anyway, sounding good. We'll talk more about the radio coming up.
Thank you, sir.
We have a Karas band check-in. Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark, 13. I will get you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis, and good evening to all the SWL.
All right, SWL 13 on the crossband. At least I know it's working. I go up there and put an X in the square. We are on page 3. We're going to be on page 4 in a second, and then we've got radios. The real radios stopping by. So we got 77. How about SWL 78? Where is Richard in Wild Wildemar? I don't know if that's where he's at. He's been in various places the last couple of weeks. Maybe he's doing some contesting stuff out there. SWL 79.
Checking in.
Oh, sounding good. I was going to be listening for you. You have good audio, good signal. I don't know where you're at, but it's a good spot. And the X is in the square. If I can get it to work. SWL 80. All right. Now we're turning the page. SWL 81. My J38 key is not working. Let's see. Are we transmitting? Yes. SWL 81. Shortwave listener 82.
Well, good evening. SWL 82 checking in from the ditch banks of Biola.
Sounding good in the ditch banks of Biola. Also sounding good. About the same signal strength when we were on 40 the other day. That is the voice, of course, of Mr. Bones. You can hear his station and all the great things it does on Friday evenings at 8 p.m. I guess the next time you heard it, it'll be Pacific Daylight Time. Yeah, that's it. We'll be in the Daylight Savings Time up on 37 lower on the Ditch Banks sideband net. I saw your new promo, and I was singing along to it.
I know. How about that, boy? That Chris, or some people call him Leroy, and then Tracy. Yeah, they do some incredible stuff out there on the Central California CBers page.
Yeah, check it out if you get a chance, and then join Ron and the gang on the Ditch Bank sideband net. There's a spot for visitors to check in. If you're not, if you're first time to the net, and he's got a great receiver and transmitter. He will hear you for sure. Thanks for checking in.
All right, thanks, Dennis.
Out to Sylvania, Ohio, JT. I've got some new pictures. If we got some chance during the tube radios, I will try and go through some of our new uploads, photo uploads this week. Some really nice radio collections out of some radios and stuff from Evel Knievel and some other stations. So we'll look for that. Coming up on a old tube radio near you, we've got the Triple Play Plus 1. That's SWL 84, SWL 86, 87, and 88. And that, of course, is Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl checking in. Over to SWL 89, SWL 90, SWL 91, Felix checked in at the top of the program here. So, Felix, there's your X and square. Well, worth the wait, no doubt. Over to SWL 92. Out to Clovistown for SWL 93. Hold off on a proxy. I bet he will be in. SWL 95. SWL, where are we going? SWL 96. Oh, Kurt is in. All right. Well, Kurt will pick you up. If you're listening, we'll pick you up on the Echo link here in about 2 minutes. So I'll get you checked in now. SWL 97 out in Boston. And the Eagle Eye of MX 1209, you know those audio guys, they're expanding the pictures and they want to know what's going on. Well, I got some more lights. I did a lot more compression for AM, and that's why you see the lights. Normally I'm running it pretty conservatively, but I did another profile, and you can see just to do a little technical stuff. Let's go to the RA monitor, and you can see it's pushing things up pretty good. But I think it sounds okay. I don't hear any flat topping, even though the meter suggests that we might be pushing things a little bit hard. But as you heard on my replay on coming out of the British Columbia SDR, it didn't sound too bad. It didn't sound as good as a plate modulated Browning Eagle. So to answer your question, 1209, we got two. We've got the MP532, and then below that, the AM55. And that's what you're listening to. AM55's first in the chain, and that is what feeds the stream. So you're listening to the output of the AM55, and then that's fed in through the digital side into the 532, and that's what the listeners, the SWLs here live on 27085 are listening to. So hopefully I've got a little bit of sizzling sausage and an occasional boom boom from the 55. Enough audio talk. Thanks for asking. Let's go to SWL 98. You know you're going to get 25 words or more when you ask about audio. Get Tracy checked in. Make sure I didn't miss anybody while I was blabbering there. SWL 99, Radio Randy. Don't forget to feed the fish after all that. All right, and here we go into the world of Echo Link Link. So we'll start off the Echo Link links, and we'll take Tony, KD4BAO from KB6 GFD. Tony, take a transmission over. Tony is our tubes on the air.
Hey, good evening,
Sounding
Dennis.
good.
Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. Great audio on the internet tonight. So back to net control, KD4BAO.
Echo Link working good. It's sounding good. I still need to get the control board mic piped into the audio on the Echo Link. So you have to kind of suffer with my bad microphone. You're sounding good, making the REA meter function tonight. Thanks for checking in and getting us activated with tubes on the air. 73 to you. KB6 GFD. And now continuing on the Echo link. I'll just go in order. Let's go to KG5 Golf Foxtrot Oscar. Tim, if you're listening, take a transmission here. This is Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. Go ahead, GFL. And we're going to see if Tim in Fiveland, find out where he's at tonight.
All right, Dennis. Hopefully I'm making it in okay on the Echo Link side. Yeah, correction on the call sign. Whiskey 5, Germany, Florida Ocean. It's been a hot minute since I've checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network, but I just wanted to let you know I really enjoy what you guys are doing out there, and I have a lot of fun going back and listening to the live streams. So I wanted to get in live tonight because I have the rare Saturday night off. I'm a musician as one of my many jobs, and I don't have many Saturday nights off, so I often have to watch the replays of these, but I enjoy them very much. And I just wanted to say that. And I hope to catch you on HF some night. I was going to let everyone else know real quick that if you are into that worldwide DX contest that's going on, be on the lookout for Galapagos Islands. I was able to get them a couple of times on a couple of different bands, and it was a lot of fun. So I will give you a hearty 73 and let you move on with the net, and we'll talk to you soon. KB5 GFD from W5GFO out in Midland, Texas. 73, sir.
All right, sounding good in Midland, Texas. We've got stations listening in close to Waco, and sometimes the 5s come in good on 40 at night. Hear the beacons on 10 meters all the time, so we'll see what's going on. And from the Gulf Foxtrot Denmark to the Gulf Foxtrot Ocean, good to have you on there. And watch the replay. Take a look at how well you're modulating the REA meter on the transmitter. Good audio for the Echo Link. Thanks, Tim. Good to hear you, and we'll get you again. All right, let's go to. Let me sign off with Tim, and we'll check in with Kurt, SWL 96, W9KEC, KB6 GFD. Take a transmission, Kurt. Kurt is 96. We got him checked in, and he's here live on Echo.
Good evening, Dennis. Everybody on the net. Kilo Bravo 6. Go for Dennis. This is Whiskey 9. Kids eat candy. Missed last week. It's been a rough. It's late out here too. So, and then with the time change tonight, it's going to get even worse. But just to let you know, Dennis, I've pulled the old ICOM 756 out of the closet, got her all cleaned up, living here in Wabash, Indiana, in the place where I'm at. I can't have any outdoor antennas, just no place to put them, and there's no way to get a feed line in. So what I did is I bought a tapped mobile antenna, and I got a tri-magnet mount. So when I get a little extra time, I'll go outside and stick that on top of the air conditioner and with a very, very compromised antenna, see what I can do. But that's it for me, Dennis. Always good to check in, always good to see your face on the YouTubes, and always good to hear you. One of these nights we're going to catch up with each other on HF and do that thing. Oh, yeah, I'm also studying for my extra. So, back to net control. Good job, Dennis. 7-3, and we'll talk to you again soon. KB6 GFD in the net. This is W9KEC 7-3.
All right, 73, Kurt. You never underestimate like an evaporative cooler or an air conditioner on top of the roof, or maybe even the metal roof on the carport area for standing your antenna or the mag mount. I remember my first Starduster I had was sort of like a little rocket ship near the evaporative cooler. So good stuff, good contacts. Lots of nice. We're still in good part of cycle 25, and this contest seems to be bringing out a lot of the big gun stations, but it is fun stuff. Thanks for joining us on Echo Link. The audio sounding good as always, and we'll get back to the net. 73, KB6 GFD. Back to your game board, the Old Tube Radio Network game board. SWL 102 is ready to put the X in the square right there, John. The fastest mouse in the West sometimes. Anyway, saying hello to the listeners and the viewers. Please check me in, and I have done just that, as per requested. Thank you, John. Let's go over to SWL 103. That's Joey in South Carolina. See if he's got a comment or something somewhere. Let's go to SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Hey, you're sounding good. Good to have you in the air chair tonight. Must be one of those Saturdays. We have a musician that is not having to perform tonight, and we've got the busiest guy in the hills that is in front of the air chair tonight for at least a minute. So we are pleased for that, and we're putting the X in the square.
Yeah, I just actually walked through the door from a FFA competition all the way up in, I believe it was Gridley, just up there above Sacramento, and made it just in time for the net.
Absolutely. All right, long drive. What's it? Gridley, Orland, Paradise, Chico, up in that area, Marysville. Good stuff. So glad you made it back. Hope you had fun, and thanks for checking in tonight. Over.
Oh, it was a good time. Sounding good, Dennis, and thanks for running the net.
The net he's talking about is the old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing in the dark. We will have some of the classic late 50s, 60s, and 70s tube radios, 23 channels, or maybe 40 channels. I had a couple of those too. Those will be checking in after the net roll call. Let's go to SWL 110. SWL 111. Robert checked in early. I think if you listen to the pre-show replay, you will hear Robert checking in, and we've got an X in the square there. Let's go to SWL 113. SWL 114 checked in as 00 and possibly again with the extra coupon.
114 checking in.
Never misses an opportunity to check in. Now you have like 1,000,006. When you get these 2-for-1s, you're just nobody's going to catch up with it. You're on like you've lapped everybody. Anyway, thanks for checking in.
Can beef at 2-for-1. Okay, thank you for checking, Dennis.
All right, good stuff. And I see a Joey 103 checking in. Let me go back. And if you watch above my head, just to make it official, there's the initial I see you, and there's the boom, checked in. Thanks. Let's go to SWL 128. And I did see John made it into the chat from probably oldtuberadio.net out of Fairfax, Virginia, somewhere near that, with the SWL 128 and all his carts of whites. They're getting restless out there. I don't know if that's making it through the noise gate or not. Who became a granddad? Oh, that was exciting. Healthy baby boy. Good. Well, I don't know if that's number 1 or number 17 on the grandkids, but you probably know what to do. So have a good time with that. I'm glad everything went well. And Fubar Snafu, another audio question. 25 words or less, XLR. Yeah, this is XLR. It goes into the balanced XLRs on coming out of the audio board behind me. Everything is XLR except one of these units. I think it's the Dominator. No, yeah, the Lexicon. I think is 1/4 inch, and it's mono in, and then it's got a left-right out, and then that feeds the Aphex Dominator, and then we're back to balanced lines and all that. Not that means anything. It might help for RF, but that's just with this type of gear, that's the way it goes. The microphonium is an AKG. I think it's a 460B or 463. That's the body, and then it's got the shotgun, like a 63B head onto that. You can put different element capsules on there. But I'm using the shotgun. It works good. It's got a nice kind of proximity effect, and it's a condenser microphone, but with the shotgun head, it really is a little less sensitive for air coming through vents and things like that, so it works out well. All right, I almost made it. Chet said that was about 35 words. All right, I'm getting closer to 25 words or less. Let's go to SWL 131. It's a 30-year-old AKG. They do not make them anymore. I'm looking for a number, but I think it's a 460B. So if you search for that, you'll find that they're long discontinued, but I guess they were good back in 1990. Let's head over to SWL 133. Shortwave listener 135.
SWL 135 checking in.
135 checking in, sounding good. We will find out more about that radio on which you were speaking in just moments. Thanks. Somebody said to do a test. Oh, they want to do, okay, just another little audio thing. They want to see the shotgun microphone, and if I don't ruin it, there it is, and I'm going to turn it 180 degrees away. So there you go. I don't know, can you hear me at all? Am I still there? I can see the meters moving, so maybe that's not so bad. But then we go back to all that. Which okay, do that one. All right, that was unnecessarily clever. Let's go to SWL. Thank you, Cliff. SWL 137. I need to bring in the studio microphone, the RCA 77. If I ever have a guest again, we'll bring in the 77, and it's a bi-directional ribbon. So you can have somebody on either side. Pretty cool stuff, sort of like the Neumann U87. Let's go to SWL, Tony, SWL 145. And then Neil, SWL 147, checked in earlier from Kakalaki. Neil, we got you. He's had to have an early evening tonight. Keeps you on the beam. I can get farther away, but I gotta stay on. I gotta stay on the microphone. I can move it way back there. Let's go to we're going to Mr. Snow Beast, SWL 188.
Good evening, Tom Dennis, 188 checking in.
Sounding good. You knew what was coming up. I had to check my chart after all this time. You are sounding great. I don't know if you had a chance to get on the air today. It sounded like it was pretty decent conditions.
I was a little busy today. I wish I could have got out there and done a little more talking, but I definitely going to try to get in some talk time tomorrow. If you don't mind, real quick, I'd like to announce there's a Bay Area Jawjackers mid-year get-together. It's on April 11th up in Castro Valley. Great group of people, food, fun, and raffles. If anybody's interested, get a hold of me, and I can get you the details. And if somebody needs a ride, let me know. I can tell you up there with myself.
Nice. And give us the name again and the date.
The group is Bay Area Jawjackers, hosted by 559 and Todd up there out of the Northern Cal area. And it's going to be at Mountain Mike's Pizza in Castro Valley on April 11th, 11:30 to 2:30.
Nice that they're doing that. I mean, back in the day when all the radios that we're going to be checking were brand new, there was, and I was in Southern California, there was they called them breaks, coffee breaks. There was at least 1 or 2 or 3 every week, depending on where you were in that general area. So it's nice to see. And they even had the Bakersfield Jamboree as well. So it's nice to see that people are getting together and having a good time and sharing the rigs and whatever they do. So good stuff. Thanks for that information.
10-4, and also, being that you mentioned SoCal, so SoCal Sea Beers out of Long Beach, June 27th, coming up, will also be a fantastic break. It's really fun. They usually have some great big raffles, big barbecue, and just a good get-together. So if anybody's interested in that, that's SoCal Sea Beers out of Long Beach, June 27th.
All right, near my old stomping grounds. I was on the other side of the hill from Long Beach. So I never heard the guys down at Long Beach or down at the L.A. Harbor, but if they made it up to the top of the hill, at least to beacon down to us at the beach. So good stuff to know they're still out there. Thanks.
10-4, evening time to all.
All Tube Radio Network. Real radios are coming up. 195, that's Jim up in Corscoll, got checked in early. Somebody said whisper mode. That's what? Whisper. That's the nice thing about having all the compressors. You can do the whisper thing. And it actually sounds good. Let's go over to, I will listen. Robert's going to try from Madera, I think, SWL 223. We are listening over. Looking at the S meters right here in front of me too. All right, not as good as last week, but you were giving us a little bit of help here on the receive, making sure that things were close by. But I'll get you checked in anyway because I know you are out there listening. And my bottom of my screen is cut off. There we go. That's weird. And SWL 226. Going to check in for Jeff and Shockwave. And who did we miss? Did we miss anybody else out here tonight? That my chart is not working. Let me do one more. That's not working. Anyway, anybody that needs to get checked in, I'm listening. Over. All right, sounding good. I'm going to step out for a second, get ready for the tube radios, which will be coming up. What we do best at the old Tube Radio Network. So back in a moment. The pause, what was they used to say? The pause that refreshes. You are listening to the old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing in the dark. I don't want to print something. And we'll put on the S meter and be back in a moment. Okay, boys and girls, let me find the list here. And this will be for March 7th, 2026. dB. I guess I'm ready. There's actually less I have to do now that everything's broken. Let's give it a shot. You're listening to the old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
Your old Tube Radio Network. How are your old Tube radios doing? Richie's been working on the Robin T123. I think he said an all-nighter with the caps, making sure you get the plus and the plus and the minus and the minus. Going to sound good. Looking forward to seeing some more and hearing on that. And I know a couple of you out there tonight have been doing likewise. Getting them in shape, tip-top shape for check-in tonight. So we are listening and standing by. OTR listening for any radio check-ins.
66, 5.
77.
6.
All right, we've got 56, and then I heard 20, and then I heard 77, and then I heard 60. So that's 4. So right now we've got... in order that I'll take you 56, Phil, 20, Harvey, 1017, and then Joe. Who else did I miss?
135.
And 135. All right, we'll get this. That was a true DX pileup. I thought I was on 10 meters on the contest here. So stand by. We will get everybody. We won't leave. In fact, they're saying, I can't leave. We can't leave until we get you all. So, where's my number? Oh, there it is, 56. Just for kicks, Phil, step up to the microphonium and take a transmission.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Swan 1011 this evening.
All right, if you like rare... Who is that says that? Charles Phoenix. If you like rare, we have rare for you right now from Swan, which was the people that begat the Cubit and the 1011s. I'm looking for my Rolodex on the S, and I know we have a picture. I don't know. I want to make sure. Okay, here it is. The Swan 10. It may be a stock picture. No, okay, it's not bad. And it looks like a swan. We're bringing it up to the top here, and then we'll go over to you. And it's been a while, so it sounds like you got it tuned and loaded, and it is a very tricky situation to get that working on AM correctly, but it sounds good. Over to you.
Well, very good, Dennis. Yeah, I haven't had this on the air for a while. I don't know if I'm a little hot, do I need to adjust mic gain? There are all kinds of different phenomenons to fiddle with. But at any rate, I'll let you let me know about that. But the Swan 1011 is it was the redheaded stepchild of Swan Industries. The ARRL just really didn't like the idea of this particular radio being so close to being in the CB neighborhood, and that inspired Samuel I. Lewis to form Siltronics.
Which he did. I think this was even advertised. One of these was advertised in QST and got some issues. I would say everything sounds good, but I'm looking at the S meter and it's not moving. So probably got, and I don't know if it's. Let me go to the Extreme CU. If there's a carrier, driver, mic gain, carrier balance. I know there's a carrier insertion. I'm going to say you probably have to back down the carrier just a little bit. Over.
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not much on the carrier. Let's see what I'm doing here. Bring that up a little bit. Bring that up a little bit. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what the driver does here. And hit the driver up a little bit.
Yeah, that helped. Actually, the signal strength went up. I was just looking for some more forward movement. That will probably give you a little more headroom in the audio, but I can hear you just fine. And I know, like with the Yaesu 101, sometimes you can look at the current meter and say, 25 mils or 30 mils is too much. You can look at some voltage things. So we are good to go. I'm going to call it Siltronics. The Swan 1011. This was around $500, believe it or not. Basically a 10-meter radio. It went from 28 to up to 29.5, and then in theory the receive was from 696 to 2723. So the 23 channel receive, but there was a way to change the crystal. Why was it a 10-meter radio? Because it was 180 watts input, I think, DC input when it's supposed to be 5, 60 watts AM input when it was supposed to be 5, ran on 117 volt AC, and had a built-in power supply, so you didn't need to have a separate box with that. And the 1011 plane, I guess, is what we're dealing with that. Above the letter relabeled Siltronics. So 1011B, I guess, was the other one. But the Siltronics, the Swan 1011. I'm looking for the story goes that Hams and the ARRL made a huge protest to Swan when the first Swan 1011 ad shown in the homepage advertisement was first seen in 73 magazine. And that would have been the radio that Phil is bringing by. The rig was seen by Hams as nothing but a Swan CB transceiver, when in fact it did contain the 10-meter amateur radio band. Damage control kicked in back at Swan, and the separate Siltronics company was formed, as Phil mentioned, to market the renamed rig. The sales advertisements then depicted the 1011 rig renamed as Siltronics. Circa earlier mid-1970s, the political heat died down, and the Siltronics brand transceivers were brought out to the public, keeping a more practical, safe distance from the original Swan amateur radio reputation. But reputation is intact. Take a transmission. Over.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Wow, my modulation right is... Yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, I appreciate it, Dennis. It's been a while since I've had this one on. The first Swan, or the first Filtronics, the plane, the B, and the B did not have the 8950 PA tube. I cannot remember what this one is using, but it is not the 8950. Over.
Which is probably a good thing. I mean, back in 1970, the 8950, what, they're $9 or $10, maybe, at the most. And now, I don't even know if you can find them. Probably not for $50 if you can get one. And some of the amps and things have a couple of those tubes in there. So I'm looking to see if my information says what the tube complement is, and it does not. But it's got to be pretty beefy to get your 60 watt AM input. Looks good, sounds good. Like I said, maybe a tweak here and there for the audio, but back when these came out, they were great. The sideband guys love these things with their Shure 444, and they always had problems tuning them on AM. So if you can get anything close to AM sounding out of that, which you have, you are doing good. Back to you for another transmission. Again, super rare. I don't have any production numbers on this, but it got off to it was a good radio. They got off to a bad start, but after they went to Siltronics, they sort of made a mark for themselves with the Comanche and the 1011C, and anybody who's been in CB for a while definitely knows these radios and has probably heard one before. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I've got another one warming up, so back to OTR.
All right, thanks. Back to the control room here. Thank you, Phil, for the Swan 1011. Let's continue on because we've got a long way to go and a short time to get there as they sing in the song. Hello, Harvey. Over.
Roger, thank you. Okay, I'm going to check in this Tram XL100. This is on DC right now. I just received it yesterday. Done a little work on it. Should be real close to on frequency. And I'm using an amplified D104 on it. I will try the hand mic. There's a lot to talk about this type radio, but I'm not going to do that because there are a lot of people that want to check in their radios. What I will do is stop here in a second and put the hand mic on so you can tell me what the difference is. Okay, Dennis?
I will do that. The Tram XL100. We're showing it in a mobile application. It's got its own table. It is actually being shown with a D104 plugged into the front, and we'll see what the difference is. You've got plenty of audio, so not a problem. Over.
Okay. This is a small little hand mic. It's not marked, but it's a Shure hand mic. The labeling on the front is missing, but it matches the hand mic I have with my, quote, original XL100 that's up on the shelf. I'm keeping that, and after I get done finishing this one up, it's going to be for sale. But it's going to take a little time. I have to, I've done the tube. The caps are all good, but I may change some. And I have to change the volume control on-off switch because it's not good and I can't clean it anymore. Okay, back to you. And maybe later on tonight I might talk more about this, but people need to check in their radios.
All right, we'll talk more about it tonight. I just noticed I had some noise reduction in, which I shouldn't have had on. I never do that. So if anybody's hearing an echo, it's because of the noise reduction. You know, interestingly enough, I think this microphonium even though fidelity-wise might not be, or equalizing-wise may not be as good as the other one, it seems to have a clearer response. It doesn't seem to be as fuzzy. It's a slight difference, but maybe we get time later on. We can do another A/B comparison. But I like this one better, and then as I listened to it, it's like I don't know, but it works fine. Plenty of audio. I'm looking at the tram. Just a quick question. Unlike the trams we know, this looks like it has one dial for transmit and receive, or am I incorrect about that?
One dial, transmit and receive. It's a early synthesized circuit. For those who want to see more about it, CB Tricks. No, wait. Oh, it doesn't show it. It's in Sam's Photo Fax number 11, page 129. Nice picture of it. When you got it, you got a power supply, either AC or DC, maybe you got both, and then a speaker on top that kind of bolted to a mobile type bracket. I have all of that for my other one, speaker included. This didn't come with a speaker. The person I got it from is looking for it. It needs a 3x5 4-ohm speaker. I'm using an 8-ohm speaker now because that's what I have. Anyway, better fidelity with the 3x5 4-ohm in an enclosure. So I got to find something like that. Because when I sell it, I want to sell it with the proper speaker. Okay, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Harvey. We'll get some more information. I like the fact that the one we're showing, and it's courtesy of Larry Lavasseur, he's got his own little table in the vehicle. I think and you're on the stock microphone right now, right?
Roger.
Yeah, somebody else said the same thing. They said it sounds better. They like it better. I like it better, too. I think it's just a little cleaner sounding than the other one. They both have good gain. I was looking at the Orban meter, and it looks like your gain levels are about the same. All right, nice. Boy, we are getting the radios that you never see and you never hear, from the Swan Plane 1011 to the Tram XL 100. Cool stuff. And that is 23 channels, right?
Roger. 23 channels.
All 23 channels, sounding good for our radio too. And if we got time, we'll chat some more. Got a great picture of it. Doing what it does best is taking up all the room in your vehicle. Thanks, Harvey, for radio number 2. We will keep moving on. We've got Cliff and Joe, and stepping up to the microphonium now, I believe, is the ever-popular Dennis, 1017. Hello, 77.
Well, hello, Dennis. 77 here, 1017. And we're currently running Jerry's beautiful 9 out of 10 Mark III Browning Golden Eagle with a non-amplified D104 that came out in 1953.
Good combination. Let me get a photo that will show what happens when there we go. You put them side by side, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, and you need 3 feet of desk space, basically. Beautiful, beautiful radio, the knobs, the golden knobs, and not too cluttered. Everything is huge. Nice big speaker on the air light. You just can't go wrong, especially when it's 1972 and you're shelling out $800. And you think, I wanted to buy that Pinto. But, it's probably a better bet that my rig will not catch on fire and the car will. Back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd want the car to catch on fire. Yeah, this particular model, they said they started building the AM version in 1971. 1972, they came out with the AM sideband version, and they continued to produce this up until late 75. And then, of course, the Mark IV came out in 76.
And part of that was the FCC saying you cannot sell a 23-channel radio. You have to, you can't market or keep marketing your 23-channel radio. So anybody remembers back in the day at Sears, and I don't know if Montgomery Ward's had them, but the Sears Road Talkers, the 23 channels, just sitting in boxes here in Fresno for, I don't know what they were, $39, $49. The radios had been well over $100 because it was like, we can't have these. All the new stuff is coming out. So I'm sure Browning probably was a little sad they had to remarket everything, and they had to keep up with everybody else with 40 channels. But at that time, they were probably losing money on the things. Not on this one though. $650, $750, 1972, like you said. AM SSB. There was the AM transmitter, and I think it was a Mark II rebranded. They actually did another faceplate to make it look more Mark III-esque, sounding good. And let's see, take another transmission. I think you've got. I don't think you have much more to do on that, if anything. Over.
Yeah, this one turned out beautiful. All the caps have been done. All the tubes are 80% or higher. All the bulbs have been done. The on-the-air light lights up beautifully. And boy, I tell you, thank you for letting us hear that earlier today. That this station and that antenna, dropped one in on British Columbia. That that really made our afternoon there.
It did. You're 30 over. I just brought the meter up. You're 30. I've got that short. I'm going to play that again. You'll hear me.
I've got the recorder going. Yeah, I've got the recorder
And then here
going.
it is. Here's the same radio out of British Columbia.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio check. Fresno, California.
And that's Jerry at the microphonium.
Okay.
Let me turn that off. But that's amazing. So we got you both in there on the microphone. Over.
Yeah. Boy, I couldn't believe it when I heard how well it sounded when it dropped into British Columbia from wonderful Fresno. So thank you for letting us check it in, and I know you got a lot more radios to check in, so we'll get out of here and let everyone get back at it. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, thanks for stopping by. As they say, yeah, we were going to lose an hour tonight, so we'll get everybody in so you can go to bed and get up early to do some DX. It should be good. Browning Golden Eagle Mark III in the SSB mode, looking and sounding good, whether it's 3 miles down the road or 1,003 miles up the coast to British Columbia. Continuing on, Joe, SWL 60. Mr. Hustler, you are Radio 4. Is it still keying up? Go.
Thank you much, Dennis. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Mustang too. Thanks to Kenny up in Oklahoma, and again to Marcia, and hopefully they'll be hearing this old radio, the Mustang 2, 7 tubes, 8 channels.
I've got it. There's a Mustang Sally, and then there's Mustang 2, and we've got Mustang 2 right here online. A beautiful radio. This is this photo courtesy of Robert, SWL 223. Great shape. It's got the original microphone plugged in the front. It's got all the original cream-colored knobs. Not a beginner radio. It's got an S meter. Even though we're not at 23 channels, we've got a full tunable receive and a lot of extra stuff that you wouldn't get on the $99 radios. Back to you.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it, and it is on a stock microphone, and it is a cream-colored radio, very pretty. Dennis, it has channel 9, 11, of course, 14 and 23 that I can see. Maybe Kenny put that stamp here in the front. Or maybe it was there before him. But that are some of the channels that are on the radio, and like I said, it's 7 tubes, mobile, and I think it could be AC too. Not very much in the back there, no fancy duds back there, just a basic radio in the front. You got your spotter, you got your squelch, you got your volume for sure.
in your channel selector. And there is a crystal slot. And I think that would have been a nice spot for Channel 9 back in its time.
Would have been good. And it's the 7-tube radio wonders. And there were a couple of them. The Helicrafters, I think the CB3A, those series. You've got the Hustler. I think that was another 7-tube radio. And here's the Metrotech Mustang, too. So if you didn't have to have, sideband with product detectors and, I don't know, maybe voltage or the vibrators or whatever, you could get by with 7 tubes and it works and sounds just fine. The stock microphonium doing a good job. Audio looks good on the Orban meter and not a problem. Oh, you know what? Can't recall if I matched this one. I probably have. So take a transmission and I'll run the 0 beat on this thing.
Okay, Dennis. I don't have it. I've got other radios, and there are no mic hangers, so that would have to be installed. I would love to have this in a mobile or a pickup. This is a radio I think could go a long ways in a car. It's got a decent speaker on it. It's got a decent meter on it. And in horizontal position, you got your knobs. And you have your indicator light and your spotter switch. So, guys, not doing too bad with this one.
Not doing too bad at all. I want to say goodnight to Gerald. Has to get up in 6 hours. I know how that can be. So, the replay will be out there tonight. And, we're losing an hour anyway, so I'm going to try not to go too late tonight for those who do have to get up early and are going to lose the hour. But we got some great radios coming in. Metrotech, Mustang. You are at 84, 27084.5. So about 450 cycles low. So well within the FCC limits, and certainly can't tell a difference on the AM mode. A beautiful radio. Thanks to Robert for the great picture. And I think we heard his last week. I'll have to check my chart just to make sure. It was a Webster band spanner we didn't get from him, but I think we heard this last week from Metrotech, one of their, 5 or 6 radios, fully intact, right on channel 11, sounding good.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and once again, thanks Kenny in Oklahoma for allowing me to purchase this radio for me. Marsha, hello, and thanks a lot, Dennis.
All right, they checked in earlier, might still be listening. If not, they'll be jumping in on the replay. Thanks for doing that. The Old Tube Radio Network, coming up next, it's Cliff, 1:35. We're going to jump over to the Jingle Singers as Cliff steps up into the air chair.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Right here in Fresno, California, or anywhere. I mean, anybody can be doing a radio night, vintage radio night, regular radio night, old tube radio night. The thing to do is get on the air and do it. We've been doing this, believe it or not, for 40 years now. Various net controllers and radios coming by. A lot of we got a great assemblage of tube radio collectors here in the Central Valley, and it's been a pleasure to make sure that people can get their radios on the air, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. And isn't that pretty much what this is all about? 135, as they say, 135. Hello, Cliff.
Hello, Dennis. Is this thing working?
Yes, nice and loud, over.
Okay. Do I need to back off the mic or anything, or?
No, I think you're good. I don't hear any flat topping. I don't have the scope up, but I think you're good. If you want to go a couple inches back, you can. If you want to get right up on it, you can. But proceed with the item of interest.
Okay, I'll get right up on the thing. That might be too much. Okay, I'm not sure where this is from, but this is the last time I will be checking in the shamrock-colored radio. Let's see. For all the world, it looks like something from ECI, but it says Fanon. So this is the Fanon Fanfare XM 2300. Let's see, did I get that right? Oh, oops, I dropped something. Yeah, Fanon Fanfare XM 2300. I think there are 10 tubes in this thing, but I'm not certain. But there are all 23 at the time, of course. Crystal-controlled transmit and receive channels. This is the greenest thing I have. It is green within, without, and roundabout. And, of course, I'm talking to you through the Emerald Eagle Green Custom D104. Back to you.
Got a great picture of that, uploaded earlier. This is, if you're looking at the video or seeing the picture, this is the radio to which you are listening. The green machine and the green microphonium, Fanon, Courier, Fanfare XM 2300. I think I told you the story before back, and this would have been 71, 72, when I was picking up my first radio, which was the Realistic Navajo. When those first came out, I had a friend that said, no, this is what you want. You want tubes. And it was this radio. It was a Fanon Fanfare XM 2300. You could still buy them brand new. And I don't know why. I think it was probably a little less expensive to get, and I was on a tight budget to get the Radio Shack, which I still have, but were I to have been a smart young SWL, I should have gotten the Fanfare XM 2300, and I'd be sounding just like this. Good sounding, nice and loud. If you watch the replay, you know what it sounds like. And of course, it is the month of March, and like you have been doing for so many years, you make sure that we round out St. Paddy's Day with a couple of green radios or 3. Back to you.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm checking it in early here in March. This radio is going off to a new home where it will be very well appreciated, I'm sure. Chrissy's getting this one.
Oh, my.
And I couldn't think of anybody who should have it more. So hopefully it will be happy in its new home. So I won't be checking this in on St. Patrick's anymore. But that's the way it goes. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, yeah. The switch underneath the meter, that's an SRF switch. Switches between signal strength and RF power out. So it does not have range boost. That's why I think the amplified, this is an amplified D104. Hopefully it gives it enough audio. What do you think?
It does, and it's full fidelity. The Couriers are always good for not kind of cutting like Browning did, cutting the below 200 hertz to give you audio punch. They gave you full fidelity. So if you had a microphone that would do that, your radio would sound that way. So if you're an audio guru, a hi-fi aficionado for AM, this would be a radio to get, or any of the Couriers, or this Fanon, because you'd be able to do some killer stuff with the audio board. Well, no doubt, when it arrives at its destination up there in northern Idaho, I expect to, when we have some conditions, to hear this one beaconing back. We've heard the Robin, we've heard the Browning, and this has got some great audio, so I have a feeling we will be hearing this back in the Central Valley when we get some conditions. So fret not. Fanon XM 2300. I don't have the cheat sheet on it, but I believe this is obviously early 1970s when they were still putting the tubes in them, and it plays well in the 21st century. Over. Oh,
yeah, and before I forget, Channel 11 here is green. That's not an optical illusion. And let's see, this thing should be right near on frequency. If you can give me a frequency check.
According to my freaky meter, it's 0851. Pretty close, like right on the money. But yeah, you know how some of the radios have the white numbers and the red numbers and stuff? This has green numbers. And I always thought that way. See, it just can't get any
greener if it tried. What was the other thing I was going to say? Now I forgot because I didn't want to forget about the green numbers.
As a famous frog once said, it ain't easy being green. I just did the 0beat 27085 dead on, but I wish we had the Larrycam with the carrier, because you can hear it warble, like moving maybe 10 cycles or so as you speak. I don't know if it was going up or down, but you can hear it warble just a little teeny bit off of the 085, but it's pretty much dead on. So we'd see that carrier going a little bit, not skewing, but get a little wavy line in there that would be hard to detect. So that's cute. It has a cute little sound when you listen in on to either the sideband. Good deal. We will definitely be looking for it on Skipland. Glad you got a chance to not only send us a great picture, which I will keep in our archive. So when we get a fanfare, this is the picture, of course, that will pop up. And like I said, it's going to a good home. So back to you for transmission, radio number 5, sounding good. I want to say hello, or rather hello and goodbye. I know we got a lot of people having to drop out tonight. Peter, 428 up in BC, going to bed. And so glad you are on the mend. Glad you were able to join us tonight for a little bit. Don't overdo it. That's what they say. Don't overdo it. And we will be back here next week, as will you. So thanks, Peter. And thank you, Cliff.
Yeah, and thanks you for letting me check it in. Sometime I would love to hear about the Fanon Radio Corporation. I don't know anything about them. Like, where were they? How much did these things cost? And what was this actually made by ECI, and like they just slapped the Fanon name on there, or what was the deal with all that? As I'm sure you can plainly see, it looks for all the world, like a courier or something like that. So if you ever dig up any information like that, I'd love to hear it. Okay, that's it from me for tonight. We'll catch you next time. See ya.
56.
All right, 73. Thanks for jumping by here on the old Tube Radio Network. And we'll do a little research on ECI Courier that it looks like they later became Fanon Courier. And so we'll have to find out where the Fanon came in and why they did that. So it looks like there's a story to be told. Find out why Courier changed the name and Fanon came in. Radio number 6 is listening in. We will head over that way. The old Tube Radio Network 56, just for kicks. I hear you. Over.
When it's my turn.
It is your turn. We are plumb out of radios, but you're starting us over again.
Okay, well, very good. This one's dedicated to Harvey. It's a Demco Raval 23.
Demco Ravel 23. I probably have that somewhere, and I know we have some fans of Demco. There is actually a Facebook page out there. Haven't had a Demco in a while, so let me find the Ravel. I know there's Ravel 23. Let's see if it shows up with a. No image available. I'll look for it. Well, anyway, back to you. Would you say that is a base or a mobile style radio?
Well, I believe it was intended to be it could go either way. It is relatively small, a radio for a Demco, that is to say.
Okay, I have the Ravel. I don't have the 23, so my guess is, obviously, if they said 23, it's 23 channels. The one I'm showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like it's 6 channels. You've got some plug-in crystals in the front. It does not have an S meter. It's got the speaker on the right-hand side, and it looks like the microphonium on this one is hardwired in, however.
Well, this one is 23 channels. It does have a meter, and it's a front-firing speaker.
Wow, okay. Well, I'll see if I can come up with something, because it sure sounds like we probably, in our 40-year history, have checked one of those in once or twice.
Well, it would not surprise me. At any rate, it is what it is, and here it is, and back to OTR.
Back to OTR. All right, I may have quickly. Okay, perfect. All right, I got one here. Let me see if they'll let me put the picture up. I might be able to do it like this. I'm going to copy the image address. Hang on a second. Don't go away. I think we can get a picture. Sometimes the internet can be a little bit slow, so we're going to paste that, submit that, and the winner is. All right, so our listeners, there it is. That is your Revell, nice radio, yeah, the vertical meter. And you know what? It looks very much like the satellite series. It's got the larger knobs. Of course, there's only one piece to it, right? You've only got one piece to that radio?
Yes, that's correct, and it has the hooded case.
And then you've got, okay, now here's what I'm looking at. You've got the big dial, and it looks like it should be a vernier dial, but I see the channel selector. So does it click into the channels?
Yes, it does. There's a D10. There is no tunable receive on this radio.
Right, and the reason I said that, obviously it has to have crystal-controlled ka-chunk transmits, but it's got that look like it should be a tunable receive. Let me go to the close-up here. Yeah, you can see it comes in 23, 22. Oh, I see what they do. The numbers are spaced above and below the center line. That's what was throwing me off.
Yes, and there is a tuning knob for fine tuning, plus or minus. It's located on the right-hand side, operator's right-hand side of the radio.
Yeah, absolutely see that right there. Right, looks like it might make the microphone a little bit hard to get in between all those knobs. There's the meter. Nice looking radio, as a matter of fact. So you say dedicating this one to Harvey, but it looks like it's a similar case. So I bet, and your audio is good, probably about 70%, 75%. So that radio is begging to be to have a Demco modulator in there somewhere. Over.
Well, I've got one I could put in, but we'll leave it stock as is for this evening. Over.
Yeah, not bad. Nice, good signal. Moving the meter a little bit, and just probably about 70% on the audio off of the Orban meter. Not bad. Radio number 7 from Demco. It's the Revell 23 Deluxe radio. So if you've been a Demco fan, but you think I just can't handle all those knobs and extra pieces, this is the Demco for you. I have a feeling it's probably very similar to the internal workings of their others, but they just managed to figure out how to cram it into one box. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, OTR.
You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. It is your friendly favorite station for the last 40 years.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening in. Again, we're not trying not to stay on too late tonight. A lot of people needing to get to bed early. You're losing that hour, especially if you get up early, but we appreciate everybody stopping by tonight. And I might actually have, let me check. We got some questions from Tony. We didn't get a chance to jump in last week with that, but there may be a couple this week if I can find it. And they are here. And as usual, I'll try to slog my way through reading them without looking at them prior. Yes or no? Okay, we've never done a yes or no before, so that's got a 50-50 chance on this. Yes or no? Is it legal in the U.S. Is it legal in the U.S. to modify and use an 11-meter CB radio on the 10-meter ham band? Yes or no? Is it legal in the U.S. to modify and use an 11-meter CB radio on the 10-meter ham band? I think I know the answer to this. Now think about this. This is one of those, not a two-way door situation. So again, is it legal in the U.S. to modify and use an 11-meter CB radio on the 10-meter ham band? So there's some stuff they're leaving out here. So let's assume that who's ever using it on the 10-meter ham band is supposed to be there because they are licensed.
Are you asking for answers from the peanut gallery?
Yeah, if you've got a thought, because it's a yes or no.
If the operator is a licensed amateur radio operator, the answer would be yes. An amateur radio operator can build a transmitter out of a toaster.
Absolutely. That is one of the things that ham radio is for, is experimentation. Making sure you can stay within your license limitations and power limitations and et cetera, et cetera. And so it is a one-way street. And who is it? Mark also mentioned, and he is correct. But once it's modified, you can't use it back on 11 meters. So that is correct. In the U.S., a licensed amateur radio operator can modify an 11-meter CB radio. And I've talked to many up on the 10-meter AM window, modifying these radios that we actually talk to and listen to here, like E.F. Johnson's and Citiphones and everything like that. So yes, you can modify your 11-meter radio to operate on the 10-meter ham band, or you to be licensed to be there. However, once modified, the radio must only be used on 10-meter frequencies and can no longer be used for CB transmissions. Very good. Number 2, from the factory, the Kenwood, you've got to know your radios here. Your Kenwood TS520 used which of the following tubes in the final? Okay, and this sort of harkens back to what we were talking about earlier. And I don't know this, because this is an early radio. This is early 70s. The TS520 used which of the following tubes in the final? Did it use a 6146W? A good choice. A 6JS6C, another good choice. An S201A, kind of interesting there, or an 8950. We were talking about those as well. So I think all of these would have been a possible choice. So which one did the Kenwood TS520 use? The 6146, the 6JS6C, the S201A, or the 8950? Anybody have a TS520? See, my guess would be the 6146, and we're getting a lot of those showing up. Another good guess would be an 8950, because that was what Swan Siltronics were using. I think they were very affordable. The sweep tube, the 6JS6C, was what was in the FT101 series. And the answer is, according to this, none of the above. The answer is the S2001A is a direct equivalent of the RCA 6146A. So why did they use that tube? What prompted them to do that? Easy to to put in less voltage? I don't know. So the answer is the S200 or 2001A. I'm going to have to look that tube up, but it says it's a direct equivalent for the 6146. So then the question would be, were you able to just totally, since it's a direct equivalent, just swap in a 6146, and why wouldn't you do that? Or why shouldn't you do that in the TS520? I'll have to talk to some of my ham friends that may have had a 520 and find out what they did back in the day. All right, good questions. Harvey, are you still listening?
Yes. And Phil, neither Revell was working. Did you fix one?
Well, no. I found one on eBay. It was the last radio I purchased, and it sat and sat and sat. Came with the plug and the microphonium, and I just decided I was going to put it on.
All right. You had me going, Mr. Technician. Okay. All right. It needs a little more audio, but other than that, it was fine.
Well, real good, Harvey. I figured you'd appreciate that one.
I did. I was surprised. Okay, go ahead, Dennis.
You caught me counting and amounting. And you know what? I don't think I did a frequency check on that, but it obviously sounded fine. It didn't sound like it was off at all. And yeah, I agree with Harvey. I mean, you put a Demco modulator in front of that, I think that thing's going to scream, because it wasn't sounding bad. It's about 70% modulation. So it might have been, actually, I bet it was set up. I bet it was probably somebody had it set up for an amplified D104 Demco modulator. Okay, Harvey, my question to you is, do you have any, since it is almost 10, so I want to do it if we have it, any lists to read before we sign out of here?
Exactly the same as last week. It's in the other room. Okay. Hey, can you give me a minute to go grab it?
Yeah, I'll give you a minute to go grab it. The Jingle Singers are ready to do. They're ready to step in as they always are here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
And while we're stepping out and being modern, let me go and show you some of the if you're watching the video or looking at the pictures at oldtuberadio.net, here's some of our uploads from this week. Evel Knievel, who has like the most awesome collection out of Chicago. Here's the Sonar FS3023. We've checked in a few of those. I think Everett used to call it the baby Yaesu, like the gray case and the knobs and the way it looks. Here is a classic. This is also from Evel Knievel out of Chicago. This is the HB444 from Lafayette. I think this was before the Comstat series. And I don't know who made, if this is Panasonic or these are made by DeWalt. Also from EK, they're out of Chicago, a very nice Sonar Model E. We've had a couple of those check in. It's got the classic knobs. Look at the detail on the 8-channel Sonar. Also from his collection, the Browning 23S9. Let me get it in shot there. 23S9 with the chicken head knob on the transmitter. Classic radio. Another shot of the Sonar FS23 coming up. Here's a great, I wish we would have had this before. This is the Gemtronics, the Gemmarine G PowerMate. This is the best shot, and Chris has been checking in his forever. And we never did have a really good picture, so you could see the case on it. What else have we got? I think that's it. Well, let's stop there. And Harvey should be back in the air chair, and we'll get what he's got on the for sale list, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay. Why do I have feedback? Oh, I know why. There we Whoops. There we go. Okay. No feedback now. No feedback, right, Dennis?
This is your no feedback frequency, so you're good to go. And hey, Jim, Boston 97 says he's got a question for Harvey. So when you're done, we'll see if we can do that quickly. So go ahead with the list. Over.
Okay. Oh, by the way, check in the Golden Eagle. Courier 23 with the ECI original mic, $100. A Night C22, older radio, obviously, small thing. Original manual with it, $100. Let's see, that one's gone. HQ 105TR with an amplified D104 for $250. And this one's gone. CB, Hallicrafter CB3A, $80. A Lafayette HE15B, $75. Okay. A Johnson Messenger, Viking Messenger, the, I think 5/6 channel one, whatever that one is, $100. Comes with 2 microphones. One's the ice cream cone mic. Then a Pierce Simpson Guardian 23 with original mic. Then a Polycom Senior 23 AC/DC cords, $200, and that's it. And then that tram that I was talking on, I have to replace a couple of parts here and there, but because Tram, the guy from Tram came from Browning, and I don't know who did it first, the Tram XO100 with the head, separate power supply, separate speaker, or Browning with the Browning Drake 506 or 523, separate receiver, transceiver head, power supplies, and speaker. So there you go. They emulated each other. Okay, that was it, Dennis, and I'm ready for the question.
All right, thanks. Thanks for the list again. Let me see if the question scrolled up. No, it didn't. Have a question, Harvey. Are the so-called, I like that, the so-called Panasonic chassis radios plate modulation, Heising modulation, or what? So those would be the Panasonic 2s. That's the Robins and the T-Berries. In my notes, it says that they're plate modulated, but I don't know if it's specific type of, plate modulation. Is it Heising or what? But as far as I remember, Harvey, those are plate modulated radios, right?
I believe they are, but I'd have to check. I'll know more next week.
Okay, my notes say that they are plate modulated, and they always sound good. They're always loud, so I wouldn't doubt that they are not. But that is a decent question as to what they might be doing and why. Who might know would be 23 Skidoo, because these are actually assembling together all this information on those style of radios. So between the two, we should have an answer. Mistake Theorist, is that a meter from an FT2000? And then the other says it's an FT5000, I think. Shh, don't tell anybody, but I think the FT5000 would be the correct answer. It is the spring forward, fall back, spring forward thing, so we're all losing an hour. A lot of you have dumped out and maybe are watching the replay. Not a problem. So let me get out of here and do our list. Check-ins, 20 on page 1, 24 on page 2, 15 on page 3, 22 on page 4 for a total of 81. Not too bad, and a whole bunch of people checking in that don't actually need or want to be on the list, and that's okay. Let's see, what is going on? Oh, Harvey, Foxman 362 has been working on the Robin T123B, and I think he's got most of the items recapped. So if he doesn't have a video on that, he might have the radio up and running live and direct. So be sure to check that out. And radios tonight. The most heard manufacturer, thanks to the Beagle, putting the Brownings on top. But what a great evening if you are a rare radio aficionado, starting with the Swan 1011. That is the epitome. When you look at rare CB radios, that is going to be up in the margin by itself. The Swan at 1011, a little bit of controversy back in the late 60s with those ham guys. What are you doing? What are you doing putting 11 meters on there? What is all that about? So they were smart. They saw the numbers of the ham radio guys going down, and they saw the numbers of potential millions on 11 meters. And so, all right, maybe the FCC wasn't happy. That's another problem. Swan 1011. Thanks, Phil. Always good. And I think for your collection that we've done over the many, many years, it's like the West Coast big collection for Sammy Lewis. He would be proud. The Tram XL 100, Harvey on the west side, radio number 2 on the XL 100, sounding good. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, got a timeout. The Mark III SSB, who did that? Oh, that was Dennis and 42 and 77 there, and we had a nice replay of that radio coming back out of British Columbia. That was on Channel 11 through all the skip. So that's what amazed me. So Jerry's voice was just beaconing through that greatly. So it sounded great. Oh, and speaking of that, Radio Lifer, LIFERRRR on TikTok and other places for the possibly sitting in the driver's seat, seeing what it sounds like and looks like when you're not on this side of the microphone, the camera, but on the other side. Always fun to watch what goes on there. After that, the Metrotech Mustang 2, Mr. Hustler, and thanks to 223 Robert for the great picture of that. Finally got a picture of that radio. Thank you, Joe, for that. The Fannin Courier XM2300, the green radio. It's last transmission here from the Central Valley, but we have high hopes that we will hear it beaconing in from northern Idaho when it is time to be green. Radio number 6 tonight, the Demco Revell 23. Nice looking radio. Stay tuned for future episodes of the Old Tube Radio Network where we may have a microphonium amplification or possibly even the Demco 2-tube modulator in line with that, with the microphonium of choice. And then, as you just heard, the Browning Golden Beagle R68 T68. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio is glowing in the dark. We should do this again next week, and you should do it anytime you can. Get on the air. It doesn't matter what the radio looks like or has inside. Have fun. If you're studying for your ham radio ticket, keep it up. If you think you might be interested, it's not too hard. There's plenty of places online where you can go through the testing, and most ham radio clubs or places near you will have a testing site. Get on the air. We're still in cycle 25. Still a lot of good stuff. So when things are in the doldrums or just unusable on your 11-meter radio, it's always fun to switch over and go out into the big playground. That is 40 meters, 20 meters, 15 meters, FT8, digital, whatever you want. Slow scan TV, it's pretty cool. So 73, everybody. Hope to catch some of you on the airwaves somewhere. And we'll be back next week on the Old Tube Radio Next Network. I can say that. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Quickie break, Dennis.
This is your Quickie Break frequency. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you much. Dennis, I know I'm a little late on this, but I've got an item for sale.
All right. We are still beaconing the airwaves. You are sounding marvelous, so go ahead with your information. Over.
Yeah, Dennis, I'm helping out a friend. He wants to sell his radio. It's an FTDX 3000 Yaesu. He's only asking $500 for it. It's a good working radio. Dennis, if anyone is interested out there, or to all that is listening at this moment, I can be found on Channel 21 on the AM side after 8 o'clock. I go by Hustler. 603 would be my unit number. And that's an FTDX 3000, no microphone, but a very nice radio.
It is a nice radio. It's sort of in that FTDX 1200, 3000, 2000. I've got a quick picture here online. It covers all the HF bands, and it does do 6 meters as well. It's 100 watts output. Menu, if you're not a menu person, not the radio for you, but if you can slog through some menus, and you don't need to use many of them because it has knobs for volume and squelch and power and all that good stuff. It's still got a lot of buttons that you can dial things in. It's got the display. I didn't even know that. See, I didn't notice. It has the little scope display on the bottom, and it might even have a TTBF, which is the ever so secret transmit bandwidth extra thing that will allow you to do some 4K audio. So if you're hi-fi station and you'd like to do that, I think that radio works as well on the TTBF. And not 100% sure on that, but yeah, it has the parametric EQ similar to that. So good for high fidelity, good for, I think that's a great price. Even the used ICOM 7300s aren't going for that low, and I actually think this probably has a better receiver. And it's not as new, but it's probably got a better receiver than the 7300 does. Good stuff. All right, thanks Joe for that, and I don't think he'll have trouble finding somebody that maybe a new ham, or somebody wants to upgrade, or the impetus to say, oh yeah, let me get into that. And I won't say it, but there is the possibility that if you don't cut the green wire, you might even be able to say hello here up on the Old Tube Radio Network as well with that one. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and I'll be having a lot more radios and stuff to sell on behalf of King Kong 109. I know a few of us knew him and enjoyed talking to him, and some of us we enjoyed being around him. King Kong passed away last April the 7th, and I'm in charge of selling all his equipment. So I'll be announcing quite a bit of his stuff, including the tower, the PDL2, all the wires, the control box, everything. That's only going for $300. So keep that in mind. I can be found on Channel 21 on the AM side. And for those out there listening to this little announcement, I go by Hustler 603. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks, Joe, and thanks for doing that. I mean, anybody that's been around here in the Central Valley for any amount of time would immediately know the voice of Mr. King Kong. It was the iconic station here in the Central Valley. So, he's been up here on OTR a couple of times, so he will be missed. And thanks for helping on that. I know there's a lot of people appreciate you stepping in to do that. 73 to you, 73 to our listeners at oldtuberadio.net, oldtuberadio.com, and in the ether beyond, we will catch you next week on your Old Tube Radio Network.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis. Over.
Plate modulated. In fact, all the tubes in the audio chain, plate modulation.
All right, that's my notes say that, and I mean obviously the sound of those is good. It's hard to overdrive. I mean, I believe you've got plate modulation in the Brownings now. Whether they do some clipping, I think Browning does some other audio trickery with 12AX7s and rolling off the lows. But if you want, plate modulation and some beefy fidelity, you can't go wrong with those Panasonic 2 chassis.
Roger. Alrighty. Okay. I've got to get to work. Well, I got to get something to eat, go to bed. Then I got to work on the tram tomorrow. I found a volume control for it. Turns out since tram guy used to work for Browning, I think Browning allowed him or whatever to do some copying. The volume control is a 500K pot, identical to a lot of the pots in the Browning radios. So I've got parts. So I've got those. So I can do that. Plus, the volume control is the same in the Panasonic chassis, a lot of them. 500K on-off switches and pots. So that all worked out. Okay, catch you next week.
Same tube time, same tube channel. All right, 73 to everybody. It's some of it's Sunday. The official time is 2 a.m. Sunday morning for the official clock rollback or set forward. It is a set forward. So back in the day, so what do you do? So back in the day when I was working at the TV station, you do overnights. If it was winter and you had an extra hour, you would actually end up having to work an extra hour, and they would have a log, for your 2 o'clock log. And then they would have an extra one because you'd have to go back, was it 1 o'clock? So you'd have an extra hour of programming that they had to put in. So it's like, hooray, we get to, have extra hour commercials. If you were on the spring side, which we are now, it would be 2 o'clock, and all of a sudden, then it would be 3 o'clock. It's like, what happened between 2 and 3 o'clock? What happened to that programming? What would just be gone? And you would get to go home an hour early, I guess. I don't think they made you stay after. I don't recall that, but that's what happens. But here on the Old Tube Radio Network, we do not go to 2 a.m. in the morning, so we wouldn't have to worry about that. Although the Nixie tubes are set. I had to turn them off. The Nixie tubes are set to universal coordinated time, so at 0 or 2 o'clock, whatever it is, they blip ahead. So when I looked up before the net today, it was like, it's already past the 0 time, so I took them down. But we should be good until October or November, whenever it changes again. At some point, they say it's not going to change; it's going to stick one way or the other. But we will find out about that. All right, good night, everybody. Get your extra sleep or not extra sleep, and we will see you next time. Big contest going on the HF bands, but there is still room to sneak in and have a QSO, especially on FT8. I think a lot of guys are doing that, and that's not a problem. Take care, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, and where's it 7:18 in the morning out there in Denmark. So the sun is up, the birds are singing. I don't know what the let's see. No, I can't get your temperature there right now. So it sounds like a great day. It's good to know it's going to be a great day tomorrow. Speaking to the guys that are in the future. Good night, everybody.
Hey, Dennis, number 2.
Yeah, Jerry's calling you right now.
Okay, and Joe, are you there?
Yes, sir.
After I get off the phone with Jerry, can I call you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Joe, I sent you a text, and are you going to be on 21 later?
There's a whole lot of calling going on.
Hey, Joe, you got a copy?
Yeah, come on.
I sent you a text, and are you going to be on 21 later?
Yeah, I'm going to be on it after this.
Okay, I'll catch you in a little bit, and I sent you a text. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the great song from 60 years ago, back when all these radios were brand new out of the box? Hey, Joe, where are you going with that CB radio in your hand?